Just tuned it in.
Global and worldwide.
Hit you on the one with no delay. Because it's the fighter's voice.
The fighter's voice.
With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz.
And the formidable co-host,
Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live here in Fresno, California, Mad Production Studios. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. We have a great show for you today. In store with us, we have with us a worldwide trainer, former boxer and now trainer. I mean, this camp is getting ready to just blow up. And I'm talking about trainer Roshawn Jones and his pupil, Charles Conwell, who is currently the USBA welterweight champion of the world. That's a secondary bout to the IBF world title. And you know what? This gym is just blowing up. And I'm talking about Soul City Boxing Gym in Toledo, Ohio. This is going to be a future super camp. I've been hearing good things about my brothers over here, man. I mean, I've been talking to them, trying to get them on the show, been working things out, but because of the schedules, and actually they're 3 hours ahead of us, but we're making it work today on the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, both trainer Roshawn and fighter Charles Conwell. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Hey, man, you literally just broke sparring right now, right? I mean, you guys are in training, correct?
Yes.
So, I mean, talk to us about what's it like now that we have this coronavirus. It seems to stop society in the world, but it doesn't stop my man Charles, who is just a gym rat, a cardio freak, and is the next coming to Regis Prograis has been compared to.
Man, it's been tough, getting sparring and stuff like that. But other than that, we still been in the gym working hard, doing our thing, and just trying to stay in shape, so when the call comes, we be ready.
So, I mean, Roshawn, I know you're there. I mean, your dad is the main trainer there at the gym, but you don't get a chance to relax yourself. I mean, you're always putting in work. You're always holding those pads or taking care of business on the phone, and you're putting Ohio on the map. It ain't no LeBron James to it. It's you, my man.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. Like you said, it's me, my father, and a couple other trainers that help out a lot. And we put in mad work. I know since COVID-19 has taken over, we still got a future to look forward. And the only thing we can do is try to stay healthy and try to stay clean so we can make things happen. You know,
this question is for Charles. Charles, when you hear the comparison to Sean Porter, to a modern Maldrick Taylor, even the same pedigree as Regis Prograis, how does that make you feel knowing that these are some big names in the boxing world? How does that make you feel, my man?
It makes me happy. I'm getting compared to other good fighters, but like every other person, I want to be my own person. I want to be the Charles Conwell. I want people to say, compare me. I want other people to get compared to me. So it's always good to get compared to great fighters, but you want to be great yourself and be one of those people. Be like, oh, okay, you the next Charles Conwell. I want to be one of those people.
Well, let me correct this statement. These comparisons were coming when you were in the Olympics, man. When you were making that run. I mean, before you even turned pro. I should have clarified that. And now these may be some even future opponents for you because I know Sean Porter and I know Regis. They like to eat, man.
Yeah, man. I'm all for good fights. I'm all for making good fights and getting things done.
So you don't have any restriction just to 154s, because I know you're 154s right now, and when you were an amateur, you fought as high as the 165 division.
Right. I'm open to anything. If it makes sense, it's always opportunity out there. So I'm not saying I don't want to go up or go down. So you never know. You just gotta stay tuned to see how far and where I take my career.
So who do you have your eyes on right now besides everybody that has a strap?
Besides everybody that has a strap, other than those people who have the belts, I want to fight like ex-world champions and world title challengers, just people like that. I don't have like a certain person in mind. I just want to fight ex-world champions and world title challengers so I can get some more experience under my belt and just get a bigger name for fighting bigger and better guys.
Roshawn, how many fights is he away from getting that call to fight for a world title? And what champion is suitable for you guys?
And like he said earlier in the interview he did, at any given moment, someone can call because he's number 11th in the IBF. So so that means he's in position to get a world title shot. Whether if they offer it to him and he turned down, they can offer him a fight at any given time. And what was your second question?
Who do you have your eyes on? What style is suitable for you guys?
Our style. See, the one thing about Soul City Boxing Gym, it's located in Toledo, Ohio. The style that we have, we can beat any style. We can beat a boxer. We can beat a guy who comes forward. Any style. You know, we put together our team and we come with an unbreakable plan, just like we did in the 2016 campaign for the Olympics.
Yes, in Rio. I got to ask you, man, Charles, the best kept secret in boxing. Talk to us about that statement, what that nickname means, and what it stands for in your life.
I just feel like, you know, I accomplished so much as an athlete and as a boxer, and I just feel like a lot of my accomplishments get foreseen, like they don't get recognized and recognition that it deserves. So I just feel like that name was just perfect for that for me, you know, just being the best kept secret, and I've done so much for the sport. So I just feel like that was just a perfect name to go for it.
Well, I mean, you still got your future ahead of you, man, and you know what? Now you're so motivated more than ever, man, because I mean, congratulations on a first-time father. Talk to us about that experience and what it does for you when it comes to training and making your decisions as a professional.
You know, it was really like crazy, to be honest. It still feels sometimes unreal, you know.
That's
like,
right.
Man, I really created a child. Like, this is really part of me. Like, it's crazy. I still think about it when I see it all the time. So it was crazy just to see that and experience that. But like you said, the newfound motivation, just like I'm not like, it's like I gotta leave something for my child just to recognize and just to show her and just to, you know, just to have something for her after in her future. So I'm just trying to just fight smarter, invest and just different stuff like that. Just leave a legacy for her to take care of when it's all said and done.
I mean, 22 years of age, and you're still being seasoned, you're still maturing, and now that you do have a beautiful daughter, I know that is that extra mile that's inside you that makes you make the smartest decisions, the ones that make the most sense to you. How has everything fallen into place since you become a father, 11th in the world, and this coronavirus has closed the gap where your trainer was right. One phone call away, and you're fighting for that strap.
Like you said, now it's just like, this is like the biggest moments of my career so far, so I got to stay ready. So when the call do come, I'll be ready, and I can capitalize on the situation and, you know, provide and just be better and do much more for my daughter that I couldn't get done for myself. And I'm excited, you know. I'm excited to see what comes in the future. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on that, waiting on my time, man. So whenever my time comes, I can be ready.
Rashawn, hearing this from your fighter, I mean, is everything in place where it needs to be? I mean, you're listening to him. You're listening to his confidence. You know the work ethic. You know the talent that's behind those gloves and that mouthpiece. When you hear that, do you know that destiny is going to come true and that he will be a world champion?
Yes. One person that really believes in it, it even made me a believer, was my father, ORTIZ Jones Jr., the head trainer. He noticed something in him when he was 13 years old, and I seen it in him when he was 16 years old when he won the Junior Golden Gloves, or not the Junior Golden Gloves, the Golden Gloves, the National Golden Gloves, at age 16, the same age Floyd Mayweather had won the Golden Gloves. And once I see him accomplish that, he was 16 and he just turned 17. Once I see him accomplish that, I said, oh, man, this young man right here, with the work ethic that he puts in and the strategy that we have and how he's built his structure, I knew we could win a world title, multiple world title in multiple weight divisions. I
mean, hey, man, sky's the limit. Power in both hands, has that boxing IQ. You're just waiting for that. Yeah, you are the best kept secret. You're just waiting for that opportunity, and I know you're going to capitalize on that. Now,
he also is the most accomplished 154-pounder that's out there right now.
And that says a lot, because, you know, that division, There's some monsters in there too, man. I mean, these guys, these 154 guys, I mean, they hit like light heavyweights, hit like trucks.
For sure they do.
So,
For sure. All those guys at 154 and 160 and 147, they hitting hard.
So I mean, when you start training and when you don't have an opponent just yet lined up, do you prepare yourself for one of the champions that are out there? What exactly do you work on without giving too much away? I mean, how do you continue to prepare yourself without a name being right in front of you?
Who's that? Was that question for me or Charles?
Oh, that's for the trainer, and the same question is going to be for Charles.
Okay. The only thing that
for you, Roshawn.
Only thing that you can work on without having a name is perfecting the jab. Once you got that jab hand down and that timing with the jab, no one can get past you. You know what I mean? You can beat a person just with a jab. You know what I mean? If they get past the jab, that's when the other tools and arsenals start coming in effect.
Charles, when you're training, and I know you're hitting the mitts or you're listening to your trainer, I know you vision somebody in front of you. There has to be a fighter in front of you that you see or you think about late at night, early in the morning, and maybe during your run, and you're thinking to yourself, this guy has a strap, or he's up there in the top 5, and I know without a shadow of a doubt I can beat this man. Who do you see? Who do you vision yourself being victorious over?
To be honest, it's not even just one person. To be honest, I just envision myself fighting all different type of people in my weight class. You know.
Well, name a couple, my man. I want to know. I want to know the viewers, the fans, the followers want to know who you have on that hit list, man. Because a quiet mouth does not get fed, and I believe you're going to eat, you're going to raise that belt, and you're going to be successful and have a great career.
Well, the people I really want right now is Patrick Teixeira and Jason Rosario. They're the two fighters I really would like fighting. Like I can fight them whenever they ever call me. I would like to take those fights, to be honest.
Hey, man, the world wants to see those fights. Those are great matchups for you, man. I'm hearing rumors. I mean, Lou DiBella is handling a lot of your promotions and what have you. I'm hearing there may be something interesting, and there was something along the line before this coronavirus to knock this whole thing out of the play. And Showtime, Showbox, that was in your path. That's still something possible because they were about to name some events come August. If you get that call and your name's on there, what weight class would you prefer to stay in? Is that the junior middleweight 154s?
Yeah, that's the way I want to campaign in right now. That's the way I feel the most comfortable at right now. So that's the way I definitely want to campaign and win my first world title at.
And that's a great plan. Roshawn, I'm sure if you guys had plenty of boxing meetings where you guys are just sitting down there and you have something in line, you have a game plan, you guys sit back and you're not just thinking one world title, you're thinking, okay, we're going to take care of 154s, then we're going to move up to 160s and then eventually campaign at 168, after we have our third or fourth bout.
Exactly. Exactly. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want to hear you, my man.
Like you said, I mean, the sky's the limit. With the great team we have, split team management, David McWater, and my father, ORTIZ Jones, Charles Conwell Sr., Coach Kenneth Ross, Coach Akil Miller, all those guys on our team. Lukey, you can't forget about Lukey.
Oh, man, Lukey. Lukey's exactly, man. The guy doesn't sleep. If he's not golfing, he's studying the sweet science, man.
Exactly. And, we talk on the phone for hours at a time. But we meet with our team and we think about the best strategy we got, like fighting Patrick Teixeira and Jason Rosario. If we get those 3 belts before Charlo gets them, we can make a unification bout with Charlo and make some big money with that fight, man.
Yes.
So, the best opportunity, for the best situation. Also, Canelo Alvarez, we're coming for him as well. Anybody, Boo Boo, anybody, you know what I mean? We can't put a name on it, but if you sign that contract, we coming for you. And our style can be any style. We're not running from nobody.
Enough said. Charles, when you hear that, my man, and knowing that your trainer has all the confidence in the world with your boxing ability, your boxing IQ, the whole team's behind you, how does that make you feel, man? Knowing that, hey, you know what? I'm not the only one that believes this can happen. I have a whole team of believers, and my trainer believes, and he's calling out the big dogs.
I mean, listen to me. 2 years ago, we got invited to David Lemieux's camp. You know what I mean? And I seen Charles Conwell spar with David Lemieux, train with him, you know, out there in Canada. And I seen what he was doing with David Lemieux. And I'm pretty sure you know who David Lemieux is.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
He's a great boxer with a lot of power. And after I see how Charles worked with him in that training camp, and these two were going at it. You know, David Lemieux was trying to, you know, get him out of there. You know, and it was a chess match. And I seen how he handled himself in that situation. And I knew he can beat anybody.
Charles, what motivates you, man? Charles, what motivates you to wake up in the morning and give it 100% every single time?
My family, my friends, my coaches, you know, the other fighters in the gym, we always push each other. We always motivate each other. We always challenge each other so we can do it the fastest, so we can do the most. So it's just every day is something different. It's never this. I don't never have the same motivation. Tomorrow it might be me and OJ3 seeing who can do the fastest mile, or who can do the most pull-ups, who can do the most push-ups. It's always different. There's a different motivation every day. My mom might have called me and told me that she's proud of me and it made me it motivated me. So it's just different every day. You know, it's just always just anything positive just motivates me. Anybody giving me any positive advice or give me any type of encouragement always motivates me and makes me want to work harder. Even sometimes I watch other fighters, you know, like the other prospects I came up with or the other champions I came up with, Shakur, if you want to watch them, that's motivating. It's just all different kind of stuff, man. Just different every time, every day. So just trying to find a different motivation or a different push every day.
Hey, Shakur's he's making good for himself, man. I'm glad you brought him up. What's your whole take on him vacating the bout and moving and wanting to campaign at the 130-pound division?
I think Shakur is he the truth to me. I like Shakur a lot. You know, I think he can do whatever he put his mind to. So if that's what he wants to do, and I think he's big for 126. He was big for 126. And I think he's still big for 130. And to be honest, I think he's gonna take over that weight class as well. So I'm just happy to see he's doing his thing and he's making the way for himself.
Hey, you know what? Personally, I'm going to tell you exactly what went down about 2 days ago. I get a lot of text messages. I run into people at the store, and they're always asking me, hey, what fight would take place? What's your dream match, or who'd you like to see? An old school friend of mine, and I'll say his name here, Donnie Bertoncini. We call him Bobo Bertoncini. He texted me and he said, Richard, what are your two dream matches? And I thought about it before I answered, and of course, you know, I said Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez, and I said Pernell Whitaker and Money Mayweather, not Floyd, Money Mayweather, because there's two different fighters, Money Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I also said Shakur Stevenson and Lomachenko, and he said great answer.
Yeah, them all dope fights. Them all real good fights. I think all those fights, they all gonna go to distance and they all gonna be real competitive fights. I actually heard Shakur and Lomachenko spar before. I think Shakur helped him spar for the Lomachenko fight. For the Rigondeaux fight.
Man, that's some hand speed and some ring intelligence in there. That I'd love to see something like that go down. That's just sitting ringside at a sparring match, man. I mean, that's where it's all said and done, and where everything's made and all the adjustments are put in place. And yeah, there's nothing like iron sharpening iron. I say that a lot because I want to get back to talking about your gym, your stable. I visit Robert Garcia's boxing academy frequently, and I always tell him iron sharpens iron because he has a lot of dogs in there, and he's not afraid to match them up. And when I'm hearing everybody that's coming out of your gym, and even Lukey, he said, Richard, take this to the bank. This is a gym on the rise, man. It's going to happen. All the big names will be all showing up there, and they strive off each other, man. And is it safe to say, Charles, that it is, in fact, a team effort?
Yeah, of course. You can't do nothing by yourself. I don't think people can accomplish really much of nothing. So I always believe in teamwork and having a good, solid team behind you that help push and motivate you. It's nothing like you not about to run an extra mile or sprint that last little street really by yourself. You're going to cruise and you're going to get it done. But
that's right.
It's like right there, like pushing you to go. You're going to give it your all and give it more effort. So I always think it's a team effort with everything.
Roshawn, what exactly do you look for when an athlete shows up in your gym and he wants to, you know, start campaigning as a professional fighter? What do you look for outside of the gym in a person's personal life?
I look for how disciplined they are. You know what I mean? Because it all starts at home and what you're doing outside. Things like that. And I can say heart is like the, I can say heart and discipline work hand in hand, because if you got a good, strong heart, and you want this, you're going to do whatever it takes to make this dream happen.
You know what? It sounds like your father has instilled some great life lessons and continues to just, raise the bar. Not just anybody's going to walk in there and not be accountable for their actions. How much of an influence has your father had on your life as a trainer, as a fighter, as a son? I know that's a deep question, but we're here at the Fighter's Voice, man. The only voice that matters. Tell the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I can tell you, a little bit back from my childhood. My mother was an alcoholic, me coming up, and she kind of couldn't put the liquor down or an alcohol down a little bit. So my dad had an opportunity to get me when I was that age, 3 years old, and he got full custody of me, took me in, took full responsibility, raised me, taught me the do's and don'ts, and, taught me how to become a man, broke it down to me on, what was going on with my mother and why she couldn't be here, like that. But, that still didn't stop my mother from being a mother. It's just she couldn't put, the bottle down, she couldn't proportionally drink, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
She couldn't be around that much, so, but she always, looked out, provided, did what she could, you know what I mean? And, I just had to grow up real fast, you know what I mean? And I had to understand life early at a young age, and I knew what my destiny was, and that was, to help my family become in a better position that they was. And when I mean family, it's not people who's my blood, it's people who's up around me, you know what I mean, who's focusing on the same goals I'm focused on, which is positivity. And, with that being said, in order to have a successful business, you got to be strong-minded, disciplined, and, things like that.
Well, not only that, you got to show your fighters you yourself are willing and able to go to war for them, that you do have their back, and you've shown numerous times, and even working with different commentators at different times, and I'm not going to get into detail on that, but you are a man of your word. You're not asking them to do what you're not willing or what you haven't done in your career.
Exactly.
Listening to that, Charles, what exactly continues to push you, to drive you? We spoke about it earlier. You said your daughter, you said your family, but to get to that other level, because there's levels in this game. There's levels in this sport. How do you separate yourself from the rest of the pack?
Man, you just got to work hard, man. You got to constantly work. You got to constantly want to get better. You got to constantly want to get better. You got to study the sport like every other thing. This is just like school. You got to study. You got to practice. You got to want to become better. You got to go to the gym. This is like school, man. Anything else. You got to want to learn. You got to do your homework. You got to study. You got to take tests. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to just do it like how people work in school. You got to do it like that. I'm saying this is the same way.
Charles, they're getting just a little tad of your career. Talk to us about what got you into sweet science, what got you into the sport of boxing, what other sport did you give up in order to give boxing 100%? Because you're an athlete, man, and your pedigree, you could have become anything you've put your mind to.
Yeah, I first got into boxing when I was 11 years old, 11 turning 12, so I think I was just made it to sometime in middle school. My father asked me that I want to box one summer. It was a summer, and I wasn't really doing much, just playing as a kid and whatnot. But he wanted me to do something constructive, so he asked me that I want to box. But he said once I started, I couldn't quit until I was 18. And by the time I was at 18, I was already, making my way, doing my thing, winning national championships, just growing as a fighter and getting better. So by that time, I'm just already too far in. I fell in love with the sport.
What obstacle early in your career got you to where you're at today and made you the man that you are today?
To be honest, I say getting with Soul City, I was, like I said, 13. I had to move down to Toledo. I went to the Toledo school district. I didn't want to do that. I was a kid, but I knew I had to make sacrifices to get better and just to learn. So I think that was my biggest sacrifice in my career, is leaving my comfort zone and coming out here and just willing to be open-minded and get better.
When did you realize to yourself, hey, you know what, I can make a living in this sport of boxing? When did you realize yourself? Because you've always, you know, you hear different people, and it's always cool to get a compliment from, you know, your aunt, your grandmother, your friends. But when strangers or people at that level just said, hey, you know what, son, you have a career here and you have a future here in boxing. When did you know yourself that, in fact, indeed, they were correct with that statement?
To be honest, I knew I was good when I first won the Junior Olympics. So I was probably like 15. I knew I was good. That's when I knew I was good.
Beating a grown man, huh?
Yeah, no. I was 15. I was in Junior Olympics at that time. But when I knew I was like actually like I can take it to the professionals, and when I won the Golden Glove, man, I was 17. I was, like you said, I competing against grown men, handling my business, and I won the whole tournament. So that was like a real big accomplishment. And nobody in Cleveland had won it for a while, so it was like a real big accomplishment for my city and just for myself. I just learned a lot about myself, because at first, you know, coming from like the youth to the men division, you know, men can take a lot more punishment than a kid can. So it was just a big milestone in my career. So I was just happy and proud about that. That's when I knew I could take my career wherever I wanted to go.
Hey, I got some questions coming in. What fighter inspired you in boxing?
My favorite fighter is Mike Tyson, but the fighters of today that I really like and the mindsets, it was like I like Andre Ward's mindset. I really like how he talks, and I like how he articulates himself a lot. And I really like Canelo Alvarez too. I like how he articulates himself into the ring and handle himself outside of boxing too. Hey,
Canelo has Floyd Mayweather to thank for that. I mean, the shoulder roll, everything else, and he reinvented himself after that loss.
Yeah, he became a different monster after that. He became a different beast after that loss.
So, who's on your dream list, man? If you can go back in time, who would you love to share the ring with? Any legend, anybody in the sport?
Right now, somebody that's right now, I would love to share the ring with Canelo, even if it was sparring or a fight. I would love to just go in there, because I know he's a great fighter and he's done his thing. And that's his career is like how I want to take my career. He started at 154 and he moved up and gradually and he just, you know, doing his thing. So that's like the person I actually look after and take after right now. But back in the day, I like to get in there with like Marvin Hagler, Terry Norris.
Oh wow, Terry Norris.
All different type of just a lot of different people in my weight class that was prior.
Shoot, Julian Jackson, Simon Brown, take it back to that era right there. Those guys brought it. So Canelo, huh? Well, hey, let's make a run to San Diego, man. Let's make it happen. Lukey can make some calls. We'll contact Allie. We'll make some calls, make it happen, man. I mean, he's always looking for good sparring and some good movement, man. I can see you guys working out together.
Yeah, I love to get a ring with him, man. I know he got a lot of knowledge, and I know I can. I just want to just see. You just want to get in there with the best. And that's something I always wanted to do, work with Canelo, because he's the best out right now.
Well, you know, I was going to ask you who was on your pound for pound list in your top 5, but I kind of got an idea exactly who you're following.
Yeah, but I still have to say Lomachenko's on there, NUA's on there, Terrence Crawford's on there,
Bud Crawford, man,
and Tyson Fury on there too. Now after that win.
Oh yeah, ring intelligence, man, and just you know, how do you tell a man that's undefeated and full of confidence that he's not going to win or he's not the best?
Right. And he got the perfect mindset too. I like him a lot. I like Tyson Fury's mindset. He's a real nice person. It seems like, even though he gets goofy and he just talks a lot of crap, I really like. I think he's a real genuine person and a real nice person.
Well, he talks all that nonsense sometimes right before fights, man, because he's not going to let you know what he's thinking. I mean, the man has to be a little loony to want to get in there with Deontay Wilder, who had that overhand right that was just putting people to sleep, and he was able to neutralize it and cause for a third fight. And I'm hoping that's going to happen. And that was going to be my next question, man. What big fight out there are you looking forward to once this whole coronavirus just waves by, or even in fact it does happen? What big name fighters out there would you like to see share the ring?
I would like to see the Teofimo and Lomachenko fight that's happening. I would like to see the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight happen.
How do you see that fight happening? Let's break down that one. How do you see that fight happening?
To be honest, I don't really know, man.
Well, I know.
Oh, okay. Well, let me hear you, Ro. What do you know? Tell us what you know.
Well, first of all, Terrence Crawford is a former wrestler, so I gotta slide with the wrestler.
Oh, that's right.
I mean? So, and Earl Spitz is fresh off of waking up from a coma.
Thank you.
You know, for a couple hours. You know what I mean? So all it takes is a little body shot and a chin shot. You know, it could be ugly.
I agree with you.
You know, he got to be careful. You know, calling out a wrestler. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's why he's never ever messed weight, man. I mean, they have that discipline.
Right. Exactly.
Let me tell you this, man. I'll break it down to you like this, since we're talking about it, okay? I remember back in the day, I used to work at Walmart. Back in the day, they didn't have big screen TVs. They had the tube TVs, right? So we would go down there in the back and we would bring them. They were put inside of a box, and there was foam in there. And there was this new guy, because we were all just Christmas help. We all had our jobs, but we were there just for Christmas. The third day at work, man, this guy grabs the TV and he drops it. And he looks at me and he says, man, please don't say anything, man, because, I'm going to lose my job. And then I told him, man, maybe move it in the back, dude, because you can't sell that to somebody. He goes, no, it's okay. Nothing broke. Okay, we don't know, but you dropped a TV on the ground. There has to be some loose parts. You may not know right now, but they're loose. Something's going to go out. So I'm thinking about a man getting thrown out of a car, right? Something is loose. Something's not right. Something is still not structured together. So I think about that. I think about the man's safety, and if he's the same man mentally, physically, and spiritually once he gets back in the ring, we don't know. And especially wanting to get back in the ring with pound for pound an assassin, a man that dreams of knocking people out and beating people in every single way, because the man is very competitive, and I'm talking about Bud Crawford. So that's just my analogy, man. That's just something to think about, and you're on the same page as I am about that.
Exactly. The only people that know what's good for him is his coaches that watch him sparring and seeing how he taking shots and how he feeling after sparring. You know, so that's up to his team, and he got to make sure he got the right people around him who's just not trying to get one last check out of him.
So as a trainer, what do you do if you know your fighter's not the same? Say he's coming back from a loss, didn't take, a beating, didn't take too much punishment, but you just knew something wasn't right. How do you make that determination, and how do you approach your fighter?
Okay, you'll say, hey, it's time to start cherry picking. We're not gonna take them tough fights. We're gonna take something that's on our level.
That's smart.
Crazy. That's the best business side of it, and also, that can also save his life.
Absolutely, man. It's hard to save a fighter from himself, man, because he's not going to quit. A fighter's going to continue to go. That's what he's been trained to do. You got pride, and at the end of the day, you have that heart and tenacity, and he believes in himself because he stepped in the ring.
Exactly.
Charles, man, you are only 22 years old. How long do you envision yourself in the sport of boxing? How many years? What's your plan?
It was never, to be honest, it's never really like a year thing to me. It's just about how much I accomplish and how my body and mindset is. I never really calculated the years, but I never really calculate the years, to be honest. I never really calculate the years. It's just all about how I feel and the timing of the sport and everything like that. It's never about how long I'm gonna be in the game.
All right, Charles.
But to be honest, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, though. I don't want to be 40 in the ring, to be honest.
Oh no, that makes sense.
Enjoy myself, enjoy the money, and just enjoy my family and all the fruits of my labor. So I don't want to be in the sport forever.
Hey, man, I'm going to put you up against the ropes real quick, man, and I want you to fight your way out of it. Charles, tell the world, why are you the best kept secret in boxing?
Why I'm the best kept secret? Because
Yes, sir.
All my fights are entertaining. I'm strong. I'm fast. I'm smart. I'm disciplined, and I'm willing to go all the way out to get the win. But win no matter what.
You're going to have some fans, a first-time fan ever to watch your fight. When they leave and go back in their car, what are they going to tell their friends what they saw when you were in the ring?
They're going to be like, man, did you see that Charles Conwell fight? And his friend will be like, no, because I'm going to go get a beer. And when I came back, it was over.
Yeah, that happens, man. What mark are you going to leave in the sport of boxing?
I'm going to leave the mark of just being an all-around great fighter and a real humble champion and just a smart fighter all around.
Charles, does the talent come looking for you as a trainer? slash manager, former fighter, or do you step out of the box and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go take a look at this kid?
Say that one more time.
Say that.
Does the talent walk into your gym and said, hey, I'd love for you to train me, I'd love to be a part of this team? Or do you find yourself stepping out of the gym and as if to say, hey, I'm going to go take a look at this kid that everybody's raving about? I think I can help him adapt to different styles and help strengthen his technique that he already has, or I can just grease it up and make him a world champion.
Right. For one, I'm gonna ask him. We already gonna know. We know all the fighters. You know what I mean? And we don't know. If we don't know you, then it's a reason we don't know you. So
yeah.
we gonna look you straight up and see what your record is and see, you know, who you've been fighting and all that type of stuff, and analyze you. See how many box rep points you got. You know what I mean? We're gonna do the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? So it's a study game. Like right now, as we're talking to you, we got the fights on mute right now, watching these fights. You know, because we can't miss, you know, the type of style or strategy these fighters are doing. You know what I mean? And you know, we're doing two things at once, and you know, that shows you how serious we are with this.
While you're multitasking, man, and every successful man or every man that's willing to pick himself up has to multitask. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but you have a choice enjoying numerous things that you love and doing it at the same time.
Exactly. This is what we do. You know, this is how we pay our bills. This is how we pay our light bill, our gas bill, our water bill. This is how we eat. You know what I mean? So, you know, we don't have a choice. You know, and plus, if we want to stay at the level we at or go into a higher level, we got to put in more work.
I got a question coming in. This is for both of you. What advice do you have for a fighter who's been inactive for 2 years, and in those 2 years only went the distance of 4 rounds 3 different times, and he has been asked and been called for an opportunity to fight on one of these ESPN top rank events? What experience? What can you offer him to adapt to that? I mean, he's been inactive for 2 years. That's basically what the question is. I'm trying to read it. It's half English, half Spanish. What advice do you have for that fighter?
But like this, I've been inactive for 2 years, 2.5 years, and ESPN called me for a fight, and
Top Rank
called me for a fight. For one, I'm going to ask him how many rounds, who it is, you know what I mean, and I'm going to ask myself what type of training have I been doing. You know what I mean? If I haven't been doing no training, I have, you know, my heart rate hasn't been going up and down, then it's not a good idea, you know. And if that's the case, if it's not a good idea, well, how much money they offer?
Yeah, you got to cover every angle.
Exactly.
Charles, same question for you. What advice do you have to offer to this fighter?
If you've been inactive, but you've been still in the gym training, you're still in good shape, you still been sparring, but you just haven't been fighting, and if the opportunity right and it makes sense, I say go for it. But if you haven't been doing nothing, you stay off the couch, I feel like don't go in there unless you're gonna really hurt yourself. This is not a game. Like, this is serious. People really get hurt in this sport, so take it serious.
Okay, no, I believe they got their answer. I mean, that's something similar to what I would have said, but you know, it was directed to both you, Charles, and you, Roshawn. So, you know, since we're multitasking, my man, and I know a lot of the viewers, they're watching the ESPN fights, man, and hopefully they're listening to this podcast, and they'll be listening to it later, man. How deep are we all into the telecast? Who's in the ring right now, and who do you have winning?
It's Burns and Severa. I got Burns. I mean, I got Severa winning. Dude from Colombia. He dropped the guy in the first round, so he up, and it's only the second round. He's up 10-8 in the first round.
Oh, okay. So you have him winning, right? Because based on the knockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with UFC 251 that just took place last Saturday. Did you guys happen to catch that event or hear about the fights that took place?
I heard about it. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. I heard dude just had like a dual win. It wasn't really like an exciting fight, I heard.
Charles, I'm talking about the undercard, and I want your feedback too, Roshawn. Charles, the undercard, Max Holloway scored 2 knockdowns, one by a kick and one he dropped him. But yet, he lost the fight. I had him winning three rounds out of 2. How important is it to take the whole fight in the event in your own hands as opposed to leaving it in the judge's hands?
I feel like if you know you can get a guy out of there, or if you know you got the guy hurt, just go out there and go. I'd say go for a KO. But it's still, I guess. I mean, some things you can't control, like
Right.
the judges. I guess you can't control the judges, but I feel like that sounded like a blowout to me. But it's different from UFC and boxing. You know, people in UFC can get on the ground. But I don't know. I don't really know how the scoring goes for UFC, but how you just described it, I felt like he should have won clearly. Maybe he just played a safe one round and just try to go out and move and whatnot. And he beat the guy the other 2 rounds. I don't know. I didn't get to see it.
Roshawn, as a former wrestler and a professional fighter, scoring a knockdown by a right hand on the chin or a left hook on the chin, to you, is it just as big as a takedown in wrestling?
I say, does the guy get knocked out off the chin shot?
No, he just gets knocked down and he gets back up.
Yeah, I say that's equivalent. That's equivalent from a chin shot to a takedown, because a takedown is a big blow, and a shot to the chin is a big blow. Now if he knocked him out, then I would say a submission hold would be equivalent to the knockout.
That's a great analogy, man. I've never really compared the two until now, by thinking about it. But I wanted to get your take from a former wrestler and a professional fighter. Okay, now check this out, man. We are all waiting for the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight to take place. Until it does take place, man, people are going to go on different sides of the fence. As a trainer, Roshawn, I want to ask you right now, what adjustments do you need to make as a trainer if you had Deontay Wilder in order for him to be victorious against Tyson Fury? What's the first thing you would work with first?
Me and my dad were just talking about this a couple months ago, and we were saying the best thing for Deontay Wilder to work on is his fundamentals and his feet work.
The balance.
What I mean? And his balance, and that comes from his training, and you got to have your agility drills and your balance drills in order to go back to the basics.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal couldn't make free throws, but he was still a great basketball player. And, he wasn't going to make a free throw, but he was sure going to block your shot, block you out of the paint, grab that rebound, and slam dunk right on you. So being that said, is it too late in the sport to make those adjustments, or can we still work on those?
I mean, if you're a coach, what are you getting paid for? Are you getting
That's
paid
right.
to be a yes man, or
Come on.
are you getting paid to do your job?
That's right.
So you got to work on the basics and fundamentals to even get the power that you're looking for, which is your best shot, which is the right hand. You got to sneak it in because he knows it's coming.
Okay, man, you get the call right now. They call you. I'm not saying it's going to be Deontay Wilder, but how do we beat Tyson Fury? What's the game plan? How do you neutralize his agility, his ring generalship? How do you put it to a standstill? How do you put it to a halt? How do you become victorious over Tyson Fury?
You got to have, like I said before, you got to have a good jab. The jab is what's going to offset all the rhythm and his timing. You have to, rough him up, like how Tyson Fury was roughing up Wilder, putting him in the headlocks, putting his weight on him, grabbing him, leaning on him. You got to do that to him. You know what I mean? You got to take him out of his comfort zone. Because if you got him in his comfort zone, he's going to do you dirty. He's going to frustrate you. He's going to tire you out. And you got to use that jab and that lateral movement.
Charles, this is a deep question right here, man. I want you to really think about it without. We're not giving anything away right now. How do we beat Charles? You get the call right now. How do you get the victory over him? What do you have to do? What do you got to neutralize? What do you have to do to be victorious?
I think with Charlo, he's a very emotional person. So I feel like if you get him into his emotions, get him out of his hookup, I feel like that's the one way you can get advantage over Charlo. I feel like if you can withstand his power, I feel like he can knock a lot of people out. So if you can withstand his power and have great defense and just stay poised and don't overexert yourself, I feel like that's another thing that'll really help. And just staying consistent and just because I seen with the Tony Harrison fight, like I feel like Tony Harrison beating both he was winning the second fight and he was walking him down. I feel like he was wearing him down, just walking him down. He was taking his shots until he just got hit with a good shot. So it's just like it's like a whole bunch of different things you can do to get more and more advantages over Charlo.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that fight. He gave him the proper distance, and Charlo got full extension on those punches. Yeah, I'd have to get inside and kind of close him up a little bit, take him out of his comfort zone. Exactly. Very, very well said. Well, gentlemen, you know what, man? I love having you guys on the show, but I don't just want to have you guys on here and then I don't hear from you guys in about 6 months or nothing. I want to know what's going on in your career. What moves are we making? Hey, Rich, let me give you a call right now because I got some news to drop here on the Fighter's Voice. My fighter just got a phone call, or as a trainer, we've been asked to do this, or you know what? Hey, we're going to go down sparring in San Diego. Not only Lukey is going, hey, Rich, bring your camera, bring everything with you. Let's get some content, some coverage, because you got to know, man. We're here to build you up. Iron sharpens iron. We're here to work together, man. And I don't just want to, okay, it was just the interview. No. Lukey said, Richard, you want to stay in contact with these guys. These guys are real. And that's all I wanted to hear is real. Because there's a lot of fighters, as you know, they want Mayweather's money. They want to be on the poster. Or some of us are just satisfied with just coming on a T-shirt. He said, Richard, they're not even worried about that. These guys are thinking about longevity. They're thinking about doing it the right way, the honest way, and most important, the hard way, and that's not anything given to them except an opportunity.
Right. That's true, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with us, man. This is an interview I like because we got real in depth, we got good all around questions, and you seem like you were real genuine. So I really like this interview. I'd love to do it again. Definitely need to stay in touch.
Well,
yeah, Richard. You know, we locked in, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
When we come out there on the West Coast, you know, you and Lukey are our eyes and ears. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
We are go-to.
That's right.
You know, you can tell Robert Garcia, hey, once we get our money up and be able to, you know, get a hotel and stay out there for about a good week, you know, you want to get some good sparring in.
Oh, definitely. I'll let Robert know this evening. I mean, he's probably listening. I'll let Robert know this week. You know, whenever you guys are available, and you know, come down, and maybe we'll all come down together. You know what? Maybe we'll shoot the podcast down there, because a lot of times we go down there and we'll shoot like about 2 days worth of podcasting, and you know, get to see some of the events that are taking place there. They open up their gym to us, and they are just some unique people, man. I mean, the whole gym, the whole capacity, and iron sharpens iron, man, and both you guys can benefit from each other's skill set and talent. And I love hooking people up, man, and networking good people with great contacts, man.
Right, for sure.
Okay, man, I got to ask you this question. It came in 3 different times, man. It's totally off of boxing, but hey, it's a question. It's here submitted by a fan. This is for you, Charles. What's your whole take on everything that's going on with the whole coronavirus and Black Lives Matter? I'm reading the question as we speak. Washington Redskins have been asked to change their name, and yet they said they would. They would. First of all, what's your take on the decision they're making to change their name, and what would you call them if you had the power to say this is what you're going to be called from now on?
I'm really a fan of tradition. I think that's what they're branded for, being called the Redskins. That's what they're known for. Why fix something if it ain't broke? You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what they're known for. You can just update the logo or come with a new slogan, but the name, I feel like the name is the brand, and they should just stick to their name.
Roshawn, do you care to elaborate on that statement? Add to that.
I mean, you know, you gotta wonder why they want to change the name. Is Redskin offensive? I mean, why are they saying the Indians? I mean, the Native Americans? I don't know. I have to, you know, do further more research into it. But if it's offensive, you know, to people, then, you know, why not change it? You know, any racial things, you know, going on in the world, like statues, people, you know, slave owners, you know, things like that. You know, it's all about the people. You know what I mean? You know, just like the show, the Fighter's Voice. You know what I mean? It's what the people say. And if they feel offended by it, then change it. You know what I mean?
Are we going to make everybody happy? Will we always be able to make everybody happy?
No. No.
If you had the power to do it yourself, how much input would you get from your supporters? Would you take that input, or would you just step out yourself and say, you know what, this is what needs to be done because this is what you truly feel in your heart. You feel it's the right thing to do. Are you able to, and would you be able to, as a man, to look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I made the right decision? I know it's getting deep, baby, but this is the Fighter's Voice. This ain't no candy cane show.
Yeah, I feel like you can take people advice on certain situations, but you got to know who you're taking advice from too, though. You can take your advice from people from certain situations, and you got to know who you're taking advice from. I'm not about to take advice about boxing from somebody who a professional basketball player. Like, that don't
That's
make
right.
sense. You gotta know who you're talking to and know who you're getting advice from. So that's how I feel. If it's right advice and it makes sense and it's a credible person, yeah, then I'll do it. But if it's somebody from Joe Blow from wherever, whoever, I probably won't really listen to it.
Yeah, I gotta elaborate on that. You take advice from the people that's spending money with you. If nobody is spending money with you, trying to give you advice, then you shouldn't care. You know what I mean? You only take the advice from people who's helping you become a better businessman or business overall.
What's your thought on talks of Jose Ramirez wanting to fight Bud Crawford at 147? What's your take on that statement? What was that? I want to hear you guys. I want to hear from you first, Roshawn.
I gotta go with Terrence, man. But that would be a heavy hit match. Both guys hit hard, and that's going to come down who was in the best shape and better discipline during camp.
Charles, what's your take on that?
I wouldn't really advise him to do that, to be honest. Who? Ramirez. Especially not right now. I know Chance Crawford fight is probably hard for him to find opponents, but I don't think it's the right time for Ramirez to take something like that or do something like that. I think that fight needs to come probably 2-3 years from now or something like that. That fight, I feel like he still got to fight with Taylor and stuff like that, then get used to 147. That's like a big fight to take at 147. Like, yeah, he's the top of the pound for pound list. That's not a fight you just take just to take. You know what I mean? You got to really prepare yourself and get ready for that type of fight.
What do you think of Virgil Ortiz? When you hear the name Virgil Ortiz, what do you think of him, Charles?
I think a knockout. So he got all knockouts. And I think he's a young stud though. I think he's real good too. I think he's a young stud. He's doing his thing. And I like to see stuff like that. It just goes to show like this new wave of fighters coming out and they doing their thing. So I like to see stuff like that, to be honest.
I mean, let me elaborate on that. Virgil Ortiz is a great fighter, but I got to ask the Soul City history behind that. Back a year or 6 months before Virgil Ortiz turned pro, we fought him at the ringside tournament against a kid named Amir Brown, and we got that victory. And then a few months later after that, Virgil Ortiz turned pro. So, and his career is going great. The difference between the guy that we had and the guy that Virgil Ortiz is, the guy we had don't box no more. Virgil Ortiz is a future world champion.
Wow, it's amazing on people's life journeys and their careers and where they're headed and where they turn and where they come to a halt.
Exactly.
Listen, man, I know you're managed by the same as Teofimo Lopez, man. Now, we talked about Lomachenko and his just his balance, his power. Who do you have in that fight? Because we talked about the fight, but we didn't talk about who do you have on that fight. Who do you have, Charles?
Man, to be honest, I want Teofimo to win. I want Teofimo to win. I'm going for the young guys, plus he's part of the team. So I'm always going for the home team. But realistically, I think the fight can be 50-50, to be honest. I know Lomachenko got a lot of experience, but I think Teofimo is big. He's strong. He's fast. He's young. He got a lot going for him. But same thing with Lomachenko. He got experience. He's talented. He got great movement. He's been through a lot of world championship rounds, different things like that. So I think I'm gonna say 50-50. I'm not gonna say who I think gonna win because you never know in boxing. But I would love for Teofimo to win, though.
You know, as a present fighter, it's rare that you find a fighter that's still fighting today, like as yourself, that gets so in depth with their answers. A lot of them say, "Well, I'm not worried about him," or "I really don't know," or they'll just kind of brush it off. But you seem to get in depth on both sides, and that tells me about your boxing IQ and that you're still a student of the sport of boxing.
Right. Yeah, man. Like you said, we study fights all the time. I'm all into it. I'm always on BoxRec. I'm always looking up to see who's fighting next, who's fighting who's getting trained. what's happening in the sport of boxing. I'm real interested. I'm real interested in boxing. I like to stay updated because this is the profession I'm in. So I like to keep in tune with boxing.
Hey, last question before I let you guys go, man. The fans are asking, man. Give us something. When can we see Charles Conwell inside of the ring? What have you heard? What are the dates? What are we thinking about? What exactly is on the table right now? When can this happen? When can this take place, Roshawn? I'm sure you know something.
Like I told Charles, at any given time, they can call us. He said he likes the 30-day notice. 6 weeks, 30-day notice, pretty pushing it. But we're just staying ready. We're on weight management right now. We're on strength conditioning, cardio, technique. So there's a lot of stuff we're working on. We're staying in the gym, keeping our hand-eye coordination ready. But Showtime is getting back in action. They're supposed to get back in action August 1st. They got pushed back a week, so they're at August 8th right now. So anytime between August 8th and the end of August is when you're going to be hearing the date within that month. And we're ready. We've been sparring good. We just got back from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Coach Riviere, Johnny Rocket. He houses down there in Philly.
Right.
And, we sparred with Boots Ennis, and we got some great work down there. We're ready. Only thing I can say is it's going to be bad news.
That's right. Charles, man, how do the fans stay in contact with you? Where can we follow you?
You can follow me on all social media platforms at Charles Conwell. No spaces, no underscores, man. It's pop right up. And you can just stay updated. I update my social media. I'll update it as soon as I find out something, and I'll update my fans and be the first people to know.
Man, it's a pleasure having you on the Fighter's Voice, man. Roshawn, how do we stay in contact with you? Let us all know, man.
You can Google me and type in ROSHAWNJONES. Toledo, Ohio. Roshawn Jones is going to pop up. I keep a lot of video content out there. I'm on Twitter. I'm on every social media platform: Mixer, YouTube, Twitch, everything. I'm one phone call away. I'm down with doing great business as long as it's positivity, helping the community, helping the youth. You know what I mean? Things like that. And anytime, any place.
Sounds perfect. Any last words, gentlemen?
Just for me, my last words, just stay tuned, man. I got big plans for myself and for the team, man. We really working hard, really trying to get better every day. Just stay tuned and watch our growth and just be with us when we get the world title.
Yes, and shout out to all our supporters, our sponsors, Split Team Management, David McWaters, Timmy Van Newhouse for connecting us to David McWaters. Without Timmy Van Newhouse, none of this probably would have happened. And, him putting a good word in for us. And, see from the Cleveland area as well, Ohio. Shout out to Coach Kenneth Ross. Shout out to Coach McKeel. And shout out to my father, ORTIZ Jones Jr. We're making this thing happen and keeping these kids off the streets and using Charles Conwell, O'Shea Jones, Isaiah Steen, ORTIZ Jones III. We're using these guys as an example of you don't have to die in the streets to become famous.
Amen to that, brother. Well, I appreciate you guys being a part of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And like both of you gentlemen, class act, we're simply knocking out the competition. Yes, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you soon, my man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, guys, Roshawn Jones and Charles Conwell, both gentlemen, pupil and trainer, class act, Ohio, man. It's not too far away. And yet they're willing and able to make the jump whenever need be, even to come to California to get the sparring, to get the training, and get the opportunity that they're waiting for. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We're going to have Alti Baron, Andy Vincent's fresh off his loss, and which could be debated, which could be disputed. And we're going to talk about how he handled the loss, how he's handling life, and how much of a growth himself he's making, not only being a married man, a 9-to-5 grinder, a professional boxer, and you know nothing's promised to you in this sport. Not every decision is promised to you. Not every knockdown is promised that you're going to get up, and yet the man gets up. The man continues to fight, and we're going to hear from Andy Altibaron Vincents tomorrow on The Fighter's Voice. And ESCOVEDO, the UFC veteran, my co-host with the most, will be here in studio, and we're going to break down UFC 251, the do's and don'ts, and Fight Island. Remember, folks, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.